Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the Orville Nix film. Now, the reason why I want to go over this film and stuff like that is because of pure simple fact is this is where I found the location of the gunman inside shelter number 3. And as you see here, which I'll pull up these frames here, they won't let us show the original frames and stuff like that. I have a copy of it, as you've seen in my other videos, but I cannot show the original, so I'm going to show this one here. This is only, we're going to start with 001 of the Orville Nix film. This is when it was first seen on Elm Street. Now there's frames before this and frames after this. However, we're just going to concentrate on the one that's showing JFK's limo on Elm Street, that Orville Nix film. Okay, now when he was filming, he really wasn't filming like this. His camera was more of an angle. This is why when we watch the Orville Nix film, we have to take consideration that it looks like it's going uphill. JFK's limo is going uphill, but actually it's going downhill. That's just because of the angle he's holding his camera. Like I said, when you watch a film, it can tell you exactly how he was positioned, how far he was positioned back, and the angle he was filming with his camera. So he was actually filming with this camera like this. It wasn't fully like this. It had been like this because, like I said, when we're watching this, it looks like JFK's limo is going uphill, but actually it's going downhill. Now, when I was viewing this, okay, I had my maps out and stuff, and I started marking things down like this lady here and Bill Newman here, Miss Pruder, Mrs. Sussman. I was marking people that I see in this film here, as you see right here. I was paying attention over here. Well, first time I went through it, so I could mark all these people's locations down and everything else. Then the second time when I started viewing it, I started looking up here in this area where Mr. Pruder, Mrs. Sussman's standing. And as I was viewing up on this part of this film here, I noticed something as I was viewing it right here, and I was like, okay, well, I'm watching the reactions and stuff, you know, Mr. Pruder, Mrs. Sussman. And as I was watching it, that's what I noticed right here. I was like, wait a minute, there's a shot right here. So I went back, and as you see here, and all of a sudden I was like, there's a shot right there. And then I went forward. I was like, wait a minute. So I marked this down, and that's what gave me the location of the gunman when I seen that shot fired from the side here. After I found that, I started going back, and I noticed right up here, as you see right here, there's movement in this window here. So I started looking back, and I started going back and back and back, frame by frame by frame. Keep an eye on this location right here. Then right there, I seen that shot. There's the shot being fired right there. That's frame 26. As you see, this is frame 25. Now keep your eye right here where my cursor is. Right there. There's the shot being fired right there. I'm going forward and back. There's a shot. JFK's head explodes right here. As you see right here. Shot being fired, JFK's head explodes. And he's being pushed off to his left. You see that? See that? See? Now he's got movement where he's going to his left. So after I found this in the film, I went ahead and, I started looking around and stuff like that. Like I said, I looked at the Mormon photo, and there was both gunmen, one on the right side of the shelter, one looking out the window, and his rifle sticking out. When I got done viewing the frames, I went ahead and I zoomed in. Like I said, this is the frame 40, from frame 40. I zoomed in to make sure that was a shot being fired. As you can see, the shot being fired, trail of smoke. The gunman's head, his hairline, and we can see he's firing from his left side because we can see his right eye over here, and we see the left side's more got that flash onto it. So we know there was a shot fired there. Then I zoomed in on frame 26, and we can see the gunman's head right here. We can see his eye right here, his right eye, his left eye, which he's firing from his right. See the rifle here, rifle being fired. See the sparks coming down, and then the smoke trail, as you see right here. So we have the gunman, rifle fire, sparks from the rifle being fired, and smoke trail. So after I got done doing this, viewing this, I start lining these frames up, frame 26 with Zapruder film. Then I know where the bullet made contact with because everything lines up. The lady and all the surrounding stuff lines up. What we see in this Zapruder film. But remember, we're looking at different angles now. And that was a fatal headshot to JFK. Then this is where I found the bullet impact into back of Governor Connolly's back in frame 330. Because when I was lining this up, I was like, okay, well, frame 40 lines up with frame 40 of the Orville Nix film lines up with frame 330 of the Zapruder film, but we were told that Governor Connolly was shot way before then. And then when I zoomed in and I noticed, and as we watch it in motion, we can see the bullet impact right here. This is the bullet impact into back of Governor Connolly's back. He falls over into his wife's lap. That's when I started backtracking and says, well, let's base his story. He said he was looking off to his right and stuff like that. He heard the first shot, and as he was turning off to his left, that's when he heard the second shot and he felt the blow on his back. So when we watch this Zapruder film, we can see that he was looking off to his right as he was claiming and stuff like that. It wasn't until after the fatal headshot that he heard the fatal headshot to JFK. Then he starts turning over to his left, and that's when we see the bullet impact in the back of Governor Connolly's back right here. So now we know that this frame here, frame 26 of the Orville Nix film, lines up with frame 313 of the Zapruder film. So now we can see the gunman taking a shot from here, as you see right here. We can see the gunman taking a shot from the window here. And the impact of the bullet in the Zapruder film right here, which shows the fatal headshot to JFK. Then, in frame 40 of the Orville Nix film, lining up with frame 330 of the Zapruder film, we can see the gunman taking a shot, and also the impact into back of Governor Connolly's back as we see in the Zapruder film. So now we know where the shot came from, and we know where the bullet made contact with. As I was viewing this too, I want to point this out as well. After the gunman takes a shot out of the window, I want to show you something here. Okay, I want to show you something. Okay, now when you keep an eye on this, okay, when you keep on this, you'll start seeing movement after the shot. You'll start seeing movement of the rifle going in and out right here, which I'm about to show you. Okay, this frame 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Shot being fired from there. Now, drops out of frame for a minute because the way Orville Nix is filming. I want to show you something right here. We can see the rifle standing out more out of the window right here now. And you see him pulling it back in, as you see right here. And this is right before he come and take his shot, as you see right there. So we see that rifle being pulled back in right here. Rifle standing out. Now he's turning around and pulling it back in the window, and this gunman takes his shot. And then this gunman here falls back as this gunman right here goes around, because this is the 1 window, 2 window, 3 window, and that's the top window right here. But this is the window we're going to pay attention to. And as you see, there's a lot of movement in that window right there. The rifle's extending out. We can see the rifle extending out right here. And watch how it moves around. He's moving around. You see it right there, him pulling it back in. Then this gunman on the side here is taking his shot. And we can see the movement of him dropping down right there, because now we can start seeing a little bit of daylight in that window. So you see what I'm saying? When you sit there and you find something and you pinpoint a location, okay, and then when you zoom in on a location, you see the shots being fired. That's why when I looked at the Orville Nix film, I found the shots fired from the shelter. Okay, then I zoomed in to make sure there were shots being fired. Then I line up these frames with other films and stuff, find out frame 313 and 330, so I could know exactly what shots that these gunmen was taking. And we can see it was a fatal headshot JFK and a shot to Governor Connolly as he was turning off to his left. And then after we found out, we know the location of the gunman that we see in the Orville Nix film was in this location here. So when we start looking at other films and we start looking at other images, we're going to pay attention to this location now because we see the shots fired from there. So now we're going to pay attention to this location. And then as we're viewing more films and more images and stuff, we're going to see the gunman right here in a Mormon photo. And with rifles in their hands. Then we line this up and say, well, here's the rifle sticking out of this window right here. So we're going to line that up with the Orville Nix film, okay, which is the third window from the bottom up. Okay, that's what we're going to look at. So we're going to sit there, make sure everything's lining up. See, that's nothing too. I made sure of too, make sure everything was lining up before I even made, you know, any statements or anything about these gunmen. We're going to see it's one window here. We know there's one window here because there's four of them. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's always four windows in this shelter part here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth one's right down here. But when we're counting from the bottom up, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know it's the third window up. So we go over here, we have 1, 2, 3, third window up from the bottom up. Shot being fired, rifle sticking out. So we line that up. So we have more evidence compel on top of that. That's what I'm talking about. So we know we get the full aspect is what we got to look at. A lot of researchers don't do this. Like I said, once you pinpoint a location, okay, just like the shelter, once I pinpoint a location as I found in the Orville Nix film, okay, that gave me a location to look at when I view other films and other images. This is how, when I came to the Mormon photo, Bronson film, Darnell film, and stuff like that, it makes more sense because I was sitting there looking at this location here because I knew there wasn't no shots coming from the picket fence area. I knew this for a fact. But when I was over here and I seen the shot being fired from this side first and then going back and then seeing the shot being fired from this window here, we have the window and the rifle sticking out of the same location in the films and images taken by different people in different directions and from different angles. We have the shelter, two gunmen inside shelter number 3. This is seen in the films, images, and everything else like that. Always in the same location. With rifles, aiming rifles, and from them locations and everything. Then we have the eyewitness accounts. Mr. Spruder, gunman was the assassins behind him. Newman's, which you see Bill Newman here. The shots came from directly behind him. What's directly behind him? Shelter number 3. Right behind Mrs. Spruder and them. Shelter number 3. Even after the assassination, watch the films and stuff, we'll see Mrs. Sessman start walking back to shelter number 3. But Mrs. Spruder, I guess, called her over because she made that U-turn and start following him. But like I said, once you pinpoint, when you're a researcher and an investigator, once you pinpoint a location, that's the key fact, is pinpointing the location of a gunman. Once you pinpoint a location of a gunman's location, then you know what to look at when you look for in other films and other images. You look at a site, when I said the shelter number 3. When I seen the shots fired, well, I need to look at other images and other films that shows that shelter to see if there's, if anybody else captured it. And then as you see and as I present it, how much evidence has always been there and how much has been presented. Because we can see in the Bronson film, Darnell film, Mary Mormon photo, Nix film, we see it all. And then we have the eyewitness accounts to back up after we find that location. So that's what I basically did. So in this video here, I just want to show you the Orville Nix film, the shots I found there, and how everything came about, and how I pinpointed that location, and how I ended up finding other information as well. So in the description down below, you find a site where you can order my book, Evidence of Conspiracy, the only book you need in JFK assassination. Share this information, all the other information from other videos with your friends, families, and relatives. On social medias, networks, and everything else like that, so they may know this information. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell everybody about us. Thank you, and you all have a pleasant day.